Hey, fantastic folks. This episode of the Head Guy Podcast is a game changer. We've got Mohamed Asif, CEO of Juego Sportech, taking us on a soccer tech adventure. From football dreams in Kerala to scoring big in tech, Mohamed spills the beans on Juego Sportech's journey. They're not just tracking performance, they're uncovering soccer stars worldwide. Tune in for laughs, insights, and a side of entrepreneurial flair. Mohamed's story is a go. So, Mohamed,
Yes.
thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's it's great having you on the show.
Thank you.
I want to start off by asking you where you're at now.
Okay. Okay. So that's like what do you say is like, it's been a long journey for me.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to that, and I know it's been a long journey, but I want to know. It'd be great to start it off by where you're at with regards to you personally and with the business as well.
Yeah. So I'm the co-founder and head of operations of the company called Juego Sportech. So we are one of the fourth cohort startups in the Qatar sports tech incubator, and currently we are expanding. If in a way, like we are not like past 1 year before, maybe 2 years ago, we were in idea stage. Then we went into the market, implemented iterations, changed the business model a bit, and now like we are in the market on a strong basis, and now we are growing out of the markets we are focused on. Initially, we started off in MENA and Asia. Now we are expanding it into Europe and US. That is the target for the next year, and we have started that phase slowly. But hopefully we'll be in all these markets, and it's a company related to performance tracking of amateur footballers. So that's what we do. In a nutshell, the caption for us is like play football locally and get scouted globally. So
Yeah.
That's the thing we aim to do, and that's what we want to do, and that's what we help the amateur players get to. Like we help amateur players who are undiscovered, who are very good, talented, who don't have access to scouting resources, get scouted by the big clubs and start off their professional career. So that's what we do.
And when you say you're at that phase, the next phase, what does that look like? What does that involve?
So it looks positive, and plus the market is drastically changing. If you look at it past 1 year, or let's say past 6 to 10 months of what's happening in Saudi related to football. I'm talking about football.
Yeah.
The market is changing on a very drastic level. There's like a shift, and we feel like we are in the right place at the right time. And if we execute things correctly, we have a huge potential market in front of us where we can do amazing stuff.
But that's why I'm curious about execute it rightly. What does that mean?
Whenever there is like a change in the market, or let's say a market opens up a sector, there are a lot of competitors that are going to come in. And there are a lot of established players in the foreign markets who are going to enter the local markets.
Right.
And so you need to be positioned strategically. You need to have specific partnerships, and you need to give these football clubs or academies something which is better, or maybe which is equivalent in their level, but more incentivized to be in the market and to have that hold in the market, even if a huge player comes in. At the end of the day, the whole market is a huge pie, and everyone's going to get their share, but how long you can stay in the market, how long you can be a strong force in the market depends on how you execute, how you operate, and how you go into the crowd. So that's what I mean by that.
And have you been at this stage before in your journey?
Yeah. So this is a very recent project I've started off.
Yeah.
Before this, I was involved in multiple projects.
Yeah. But have you been on the brink of something that is as big as what you're doing at the moment?
No. To be very frank.
So how does that feel?
It feels good. At the same time, I have to be positively cautious.
Yeah.
Because just being blindly positive doesn't do. You have to be focused, and you need to have your goals and plans. Otherwise, how much ever the market is in your favor, if you don't do it right, you just fail. So that is something I know, and I have to be positively cautious when I'm entering each sector, each market, when I'm approaching the clients, and when I'm introducing the technology to the market and everything. So but overall, it's a very positive thing, and I feel it is a very good time to be in this sector, that is like sports tech, in the Middle Eastern region especially, because things are changing, things are going fast than any other market, and I think it's a good time for any company who want to do that.
But I love your, as you say, it's a technology that allows anyone that wants to be found. It's like a scouting app. That a young player can you literally, and that's what I loved about it when you were talking about it when I first met you, was the fact that you don't need any technology on the player. You just need a phone with a camera that can film, and then you've done all the data, you've done all the technological wizardry behind it to make it so literally the camera does the work with regards to filming, but then with all your software, it literally can pull that data and say, okay,
this is the guy.
This is the guy that's good at. He's right-footed, left-footed. He can sprint this much, etc., etc. Is there, and that was interesting. How you brought it up was the fact that to get into the market, especially in this region, but you were saying that about competition. Is there a competition? Is there, but similar to yours?
There are. If someone sells you, there's no competition for their product, they're lying. There's like outright right.
Really?
Because everyone has competition. All right. And even if they're not direct, if they're in that sector, at this time and age, getting into your market, as a direct competitor is not a very difficult thing. I mean, if let's say I give a particular kind of technology and I'm saying, okay, I am the first one in the market to do this. If there is a player who's kind of in the same market and he sees potential in it, for him to make that thing, it's a very easy thing.
Oh, really?
That's also one thing. We when I talk to startup founders, I tell them, your idea, if you're trying to hide it and not discuss it, that is a mistake. I mean, probably the moment you're thinking about a particular idea, 50 other people are thinking about the same thing. It's about execution. And for execution, you need to be connected. You need to talk to people. You need to talk with the experts in the field who know the stuff. Share with them your idea, share with them your concept. So they might guide you in a way which you would have had to learn the hard way. They would give you a shortcut and do it this way. I mean, it would work out. Maybe some cases it's not the case, but most of the time, 90%, that is what happens. So in the same way, yes, we have competitors. If you look at it, performance tracking using a video analysis, if you term it in a technical way, it's done by a lot of companies. All right, a lot of companies do it, but they do for professional games. So if, for example, there is, let's say Barcelona is playing a match. So they might have a technology they're using to analyze the match during the match and then maybe relate to the coach, this is what is happening on the field. And that is also part of performance analysis. But where we are focused on is to help the young upcoming talents, like grassroots level football, amateur footballers. And what we are trying to do is give them access to these clubs. So when we started this project, me and my co-founder, his name is Zohaib. So when we started this project, the thing we had in mind is we need to create something, which makes it easier for the football clubs to scout, but at the same time gives equal opportunity for any talented player to be scouted. So this was a very important part of it. And that's why, when you said to me, it's very easy to do, you just need a mobile phone to do it. That is the only reason we focused on doing it in a very, very simple way. We had different methods initially, let's try using a performance tracking device, any device, whichever the players are using on a normal basis, and then sync it with our application and then track the performance. We worked out this, but then we realized if we are going to stick it to that method, then it beats the purpose. Not everyone has access to these performance hardware. So we needed to change it. So we then again got back onto the drawing board, and then we discuss, okay, what is the most accessible thing everyone has right now? That's mobile phones. So let's focus on that. Let's build a technology around that, which anyone, anywhere can just record something on the mobile phone according to what we demand on the application, upload it, and get his performance analyzed. That's what we do. So we have specific drills, and a player, when he creates a profile on our application, he goes through the process, and then we ask him to complete these drills and record him doing the drills. That's the only thing we need from him. And once he uploads that, we analyze the data using our technology and create a profile for him, create a rating for him based on top player benchmarks. And then we send it to the clubs who are looking for this specific kind of player. Let's say a club is looking for let's say a 17-year-old player or an 18-year-old player who's playing like a mid-attack, and he's like this tall and he has this kind of traits. So if we find someone similar to that, we connect him to the club. We tell him, okay, this is a candidate who exactly fits your profile, and he has this kind of performance. And then we give the player an option to keep updating his performance.
Right.
So
they can keep on updating.
Exactly. So you improve.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I am a player, I'm playing, maybe I reached a level, and I'm putting the work, I'm doing the excess work to training and I improve over time. So we give them an opportunity to upload their videos again. As they improve, if they feel they have improved, they upload it. It'll again analyze it. If their rating is better, again the rating goes up, and then again they are notified, okay, this player is improving over the months, over the weeks. You have to focus on this. We push the player to be, signed by the club.
So while you were talking, I got this impression that you're still a middleman, or do they get access to the results and the data, or do they have a user interface that they can?
So we provide them with a dashboard.
Right. Okay.
They have when we partner with the club, we provide them with a customized dashboard where they have access to any kind of player who's submitting his profile for the clubs.
Now, what you just said there was, when we partner up with the club, is that the objective is to literally go out and sell this to all the clubs?
Yep.
And literally say, look, this is potentially, because I'm not a football fan.
Yeah.
So, but I do love the documentaries when they follow football teams, and it always, the most famous teams are generally the ones that start with the grassroots.
Yeah.
Man United, for instance, when it was David Beckham and I couldn't say any of the other players, but they were grassroots. They literally had grown up together in the academy, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it's in the club's best interest, in a way, that they have this always feeding.
Yeah. So when we talk to clubs, coaches, scouting staff, and all the team, we build the software in communication with them.
Oh, really? So you tailor it to their needs.
So, we have a specific software, but when we're creating this whole system, we always kept in touch with them. We always took the feedback. What do they actually want? We didn't just build a product and say, okay, you have to use this.
Mm-hmm.
No, we built something that is actually needed. So one thing most of the time the coaches, the scouts, everyone said was like, the good thing about amateur level footballers or grassroots level footballers is that they can teach them their method of play. So this is very important. Okay, so I always take the example of Barcelona. So I'm a FC Barcelona fan, a huge fan. So, but at the same time, I admire the work they put at grassroots levels.
Yeah.
So the La Masia Academy is the Barcelona's academy, and it's one of the best in the world. And it has a reason for that, because once they identify a talent at a very young age, they put him through the La Masia system. They train. They actually make him unlearn the things he has learned first, because you have a concept about playing football, like, okay, this is how you play and this is how you score, but that's not it. It's a very it's a game which you have to observe and play in an intelligent way. It's like saying hard work and smart work.
Yeah.
If you do the smart work, you beat it. So they teach you the method of playing, and it's different for every club. It's not the same for FC Barcelona, and it's not the same for Man United. They play different methods. So if they get a player at a very young age, it's easier for them to teach him the method, bring him in that channel, in that funnel, and then, gradually take him up. Yeah. And eventually, maybe when he's a very good player, obviously they might sell him off, but that's the business part of it.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's the business part of it. If you look at it, there's a Borussia Dortmund, the BVB club in Germany. They're very good at it. I always tell my colleagues, like, they find gems of talents of players, they develop them, and then they sell them off for like huge money.
Yeah.
But I feel that's their business model. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel it that way. But that's a different scenario. That's when they go to the professional stage. But the younger stage is where they are taught how to play they're developing, and they're trained how to play. And that's the customer base we are serving. So coming back to your question, yes. So the main important focus is to sign the good football clubs who value amateur players and who like to get them in an early stage and then train them through the funnel and then, take them professional. There are many clubs who does this, like FC Barcelona, Ajax, Real Madrid. Everyone does this.
Yeah.
But there are some clubs who does it in a very good way. And that's the clubs we are focusing first and slowly get into the market.
So have you got clubs already on board?
Yeah, we do have some clubs on board.
Okay.
Some of them are in a test phase with us. Some of them have signed contract with us. And we are officially going to announce it very soon. But it's in a closed beta stage right now. This kind of...
And how do you keep yourself funding? How do you keep yourself motivated to keep, knowing that you're actually doing the right thing and, there is going to be a market and that not someone else is going to come in and take...
Yeah.
How do you...
So that is the toughest part of running a startup. Motivating yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you're a startup, when you're coming to the market with a new idea, basically not exactly a new idea, but when you're bringing an innovation, okay, it is a change, okay? So change, I believe, is the most constant thing in our life. Change will always happen. But at the same time, change is the thing that is opposed the most because people are reluctant to change initially. But when they find the value, they obviously adopt it.
Yeah.
There are some people who have the vision to adopt it earlier, some who go with the flow and adopt it later. But it will happen, whatever the case is. But what the change is very important. So are you giving them a product which has value, which solves a problem for them, which makes it easier for the customer you're serving? That is a very important question. And if you're doing that right, it's easy to motivate yourself. It's easy to be focused. But at the same time, startup journeys or any journey of running a company is not an easy thing. There are a lot of hard work you have to put in. Like I always say to my team, smart work is something I prefer. And it's you don't have to show me you're working from this time to this time and I'm working. No. You work 1 hour or 2 hours. If you do it right, if you do it in a easier way, better way, effective, that is better. That. So you need to keep motivating yourself, and at the same time, you need to be focused on your core vision. So me and my founder, we always ask, what is our core vision? Our core vision is to give access to any kind of amateur player to the big clubs. This is what we want to do. Any talented player, irrespective of his geography, irrespective of where he's from and what he's doing and everything, he has to have access to the bigger clubs.
So this idea, where did it come from? And, was it connected with your head, with the business sense, or was it connected with your heart, with the heart sense with regards to, I want to help every potential young player?
So it's both.
Yeah.
So you can have wishes, you want to do things in the world, but you can do it either as a charity or you can do it either as a business. It's your choice. But for certain things, you have to do it as a business. Then you can sustain. So that, if you ask me, yes, I love football. I've been playing all.
That was going to be my next question.
So I
normally, don't get me wrong or take this the wrong way, but normally India is renowned for its cricket.
Yeah.
And they're so passionate about their cricket. And I know I've heard that soccer or football is coming up. But for you,
so
why?
I am from a state called Kerala.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the south of India. The fan base there is very different. Yes, they love cricket. I wouldn't say there are no cricket fans. Obviously, but they love football.
Oh, really?
They're crazy about football. You go to certain places in Kerala, you'll get the vibe. It's part of their life.
Wow.
And there is something called sevens football, which is very famous in Kerala. So normally teams play 11s football.
Yeah.
So this is sevens. It's like a different, same format and everything, but a more aggressive game because it's 7. It's faster. Is
it on the same size pitch or is it?
It's on a smaller size pitch.
So it's like a 5-a-side that we have in the UK.
No, it's bigger than 5-a-side.
Okay.
But smaller than 11-a-side.
Yeah.
And sevens football is very, very famous in Kerala.
Oh, wow.
So even there is a documentary of FIFA on YouTube about this.
Oh, okay.
About my state, about sevens football and how football is one of the main thing there.
Oh, wow.
So I came from that demographics and I came from that kind of family basis. Everyone I knew, my family, they were fans. They used to watch. I used to watch football with my father when I was so small. Then it's gone on. Then it was in my head. Then I was based out in Qatar from early stage. I did my schooling in Qatar.
Yeah.
Middle East is a whole different ball game. It's like you make friends with locals here by football.
Yeah.
Even in a young age, I used to play on the road with the Qatari kids, and that's the culture, and it's a beautiful culture. And so it's always there in the head. And then I used to play football, but I was not a professional player. I love the game, and I watch the game and I play. And then I, after my schooling, I went back to India to do my degree. At that time, I was playing in a semi-professional level.
Oh, okay. So you got to a good level.
Yeah, but not like the
Was there any dream to become a professional deep down?
I don't think so. To be very frank, I don't think so. I like the game.
Yeah.
I want to be taken as a career. I didn't think about it in my head much about it because I was playing because I love playing it.
Yeah.
And but I did get opportunity to play in a semi-professional level and a college level and all this.
Yeah, that's an achievement in itself.
So that it was very satisfactory. And then after that, I came back here, and I was initially working in a company called Manware. So
let me just stop you. Just go back a little bit. What were you studying as a degree?
So I was doing mechanical engineering.
Okay. And was that your choice, or was that
as something I wanted to do because, like I said, I was a bit interested in that field.
Yeah.
And also at that point, that's like in 2006, the tech scenario was not that hyped up in the region I was in. But later it caught up very fast. But at that point, it was my choice. I wanted to study mechanical engineering, and I opted for that.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was good. And
so you went back to Kerala to study?
Yeah.
And then you came back to...
Then I came back after 4 years. I came back to Qatar.
Okay.
In end of 2010, I think. So. Yeah.
And what were you feeling? What were you looking for?
So initially, I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
So we had a family business, but I thought I don't want to get directly into it. I need to build my own kind of experience first, and then maybe get into it later. Because I knew I wanted to, not just knew, I wanted to get into the family business eventually. But because I that is also one of the reasons I did study mechanical engineering, because there was so much related to that in the family business. So I knew I need to get there, but I needed to get an outside experience first before I went into the family business.
And I'm just curious because, I know a lot of Indian guys that have parents that have started their own businesses, and they've then gone into the family business. Were you growing up with same people?
Yeah.
Did you have friends that their parents were running family businesses?
Yes, I had, and it was like a mixed bag.
Right.
It's like it's not like everyone was running family businesses.
No, but
there were employees. But the group was there, and I'm most connected to my school friends.
Yeah.
And all of them are here. They're doing, maybe some of them are working, some of them are doing business, but we have a huge community here, well connected, and it's a good scenario. And yes, I did have some friends who were into business, but at the same time, for me, the inspiration to get into business was my father.
Yeah.
Because my father came to Qatar when he was 19 years old, so like way back. And he initially worked and then started his own company. Then he grew it up from ground zero and then went up and built a very good, successful company.
So you've grown up with that inspiration.
So, being an employee and a businessman is very different. It has its pros and cons. I have respect for people who work on a daily basis, as an employee basis. They are doing what is necessary, and that's like a good thing.
Absolutely.
At the same time, being a business, getting your own company started is a challenge. At the same time, the reward is more if you put in the work. And what I feel is like all the people I've met who started their own company, who runs their own company, who does business, they know how to manage pressure well. It is part of the game. You are gonna have pressure, especially Middle East. I'm being very frank. The pressure is like maybe extra. You're gonna have, but eventually they handle it. Eventually they learn how to navigate it, not handle it, navigate it in an easy way. It becomes part of your life, but at the same time you find peace with it. And that is amazing. That is amazing because in a way it's freedom. All right. So your business, what does it give you? It gives you freedom.
It's a weird freedom, but it's a freedom. Yeah, you're right.
It's a freedom to focus on things what you want, which are more important. For me, it's family.
Yeah.
So you have to focus on your family. You have to build for them, and then you have your own freedom to navigate in the ways you want, the market, the world, and how you want to build your, business in any way. If you put it in a way, build your legacy.
Yeah. So, did you go into the family business or?
Yeah, I did, but not initially.
Right.
Initially, I started working, like I said, in manware.
So you decided to, go for a normal job?
Yeah. I went for a normal job first because I needed to understand that first.
Right.
I needed to know how it is. I needed to have the experience of working in the market I'm going to be in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, learn from the big companies, how they see the things. That helps. That helps a lot. Even for anyone getting into business, I would suggest always get into that field. Maybe work for some time, understand the market, and then find where the loopholes are, where the void is, where you can fill.
Well, I hear you, but also it's great experience just working for someone else and seeing how they manage, seeing how they run a business, even if it's not the same business that you might be thinking of starting.
Yeah,
I've learned from the best and I've learned from the worst.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is if I think any journey you take, even if it's a success or a loss, at the end of the day, there's something you gain. That's knowledge.
Absolutely.
You get knowledge. You learn things, and that nobody can take it away from you.
No.
Nobody can take it away from you. The experience, the knowledge you gain on any journey you take, nobody can take it. And it's the same thing with startups. Your startup can fail. It can be success. But when you fail, what happened? You learned something. And if it's a success, it's a success. Then you go on that journey. But you have to approach everything, which I believe, in a positive way. Like, even if the result is absolutely horrific, you have to find the positive in that.
Yeah.
Because that keeps you driving for the next initiative
Absolutely.
you have. So,
But that's interesting. Let's go on, because you have tried different things before you before you got to this situation. So just briefly tell us what.
After I finished my work, I think after 2 years, I joined the family business, and then I took it over, and then we are expanding out into different fields. And obviously, I was not just alone. It was like a teamwork. There were other people involved, and their vision helped me too. And then we grew. And after a few years, I thought, okay, I was very interested in tech at that point too. I was learning on the side about tech and how things are, like how this journey is, how the companies are, and how they work. But I did not get into it immediately. I wanted to understand the market, understand how these companies work. But at the same time, sitting outside and learning something and going into the field and playing and realizing how it works, it's a very different experience. So I needed to try something to understand this. So I had two very good friends of mine who have been with me from, let's say, the beginning of my school. His name is Mayuf and Hamdi. So we decided, let's do something. Let's try a project. All right, let's build a startup. Let's see. But not with heavy investment and going in like full. And no, let's try to learn first. Let's try something out. The Qatar market is very new to startups, very new to tech at that point. And then we...
when you say that point, what year are we looking at?
I think it was like end of 2014, beginning of 2015. That kind of... There were startups around. It was popping up, and the market was getting into it. And people were trying out new things. So then we approached DIC. So DIC is the Digital Incubation Center run by Ministry. And we thought, okay, let's apply for it with an idea.
So you're still running the family business, but you're trying this on the side.
Yeah. So we wanted to test something on the side. I was focused on the family business. I wanted to test with them. So I had these friends. Even them, they were working on different projects.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we thought, let's try it. They had the same frequency as us, the same wavelength.
No, but that's interesting, because I know the different incubations, but I never thought that people could apply even though they were working elsewhere. It was just like, no, you just have to present an idea, and if they like it, then...
If they like it, obviously there are conditions you have to meet, but if they like it, if it's success, then you can decide if you want to. But at the same time, I know a lot of people who work on a daily basis, 9 to 5. At the same time, run successful companies on the side. So that's no barrier.
Yeah.
It's how you manage it. It's how you manage your time, how you manage your day, how you manage the operations. Obviously, when eventually one of them is going to get bigger and you have to, split up and join one eventually. But initially, it can be done if you do it right. Okay. So we applied for DIC. And
so what was the idea?
So we started a company called Shabab Falcon.
Okay.
So it's a marketplace for selling anything in Qatar. So this was like early days. Even Qatar Living and everything was there at that time. But everyone was like, growing in the market. So we thought, okay, let's go there. Let's try something with apparels and perfumes and sunglasses and things like that, like fashion. We started a marketplace for it. We started inviting vendors on board. We pitched the idea to DIC. They liked it. So DIC is one of the early incubation centers.
Was it one of the first?
I think it's one of the first. I can't be wrong, but I think it's one of the first. And we pitched the idea to them. They liked it. DIC doesn't provide funding, but they give you incubation.
Which means
they give you office space.
Right.
They give you a facility to register your company, and they give you mentor support and access to market, but not funding.
Okay.
So
so you're self-funding yourself?
Yeah. So, and like I said, we were not putting in like heavy funds into it. To test the product, but we did. All three of us put the fund together, and we tested it. We made a startup. We built the website. We brought in the products. We brought in the vendors. We started,
and just knowing the process. So you register the company, so you're a legal entity.
Yeah.
So they do that.
They pay. They help you do that.
Oh, they help you do that.
They don't pay for that.
So you have to pay for that.
Yeah, we paid for that.
You just get the office.
You get the office, which is again a big deal because.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that expense is cut off from the list, and plus it's an officially registered building, and the government approves it, so it's easier. And that time when you say you're part of the DIC incubation, a lot of doors used to open for us. Like even in the market, when you go to big players and say you're part of this incubation, it's a validation.
No, if you look at it.
So we registered the company, we started it off, but it was not as successful as we imagined it would be. All right, because the market...
Why? Yeah, well, how did the market respond?
Because the market responded 50-50.
Right.
There was positive, there was no engagement. And like I said, it was a very initial time, and getting people used to, the local people, or as in the residents or the citizens over to locally purchase online was a very difficult. They would purchase maybe from the US Amazon and get it delivered here. But purchasing it locally...
No, really?
Yeah, it was a difficult thing at that point.
What? Was there a trust issue that they didn't believe?
It was not a trust issue. I think it was like more of like maybe the pricing, or maybe maybe the brands, or maybe like this is more established scenario. We could just go there. It's been done. This is a new one. So like things like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was a very early stage, and the idea was a bit too early, not too much early, bit too early into the market. And if we spent more money on it to get the customers on board and eventually get into like in a successful scenario, it wouldn't have worked in a business model.
Where did you draw the line? Where
I think after 6 to 7 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then quite quickly.
Yeah, I think so, man.
And that's just looking at the figures. That's just looking at the take-up.
Figures, looking at how things are moving, looking at the response. And that is also one thing you should be careful with. Yeah. You should love an idea when you do it, but you should also be willing to sacrifice it when it's necessary, because it's all the number game. If the numbers don't add up, back off. You have to give it time. Obviously, you have to give it time. But some products you will understand it immediately, very fast. That still you can try. Some products you will have to wait a little longer to see if it's...
But that's interesting that you say that, to give it up. But what you said at the beginning was the fact that, okay, look, I'm running the family business and, I'm dabbling.
Yeah.
So dabbles on, you can really let go. All right, you put your heart and soul into it, but that this could work. This might not work.
Yeah, so that was an advantage. Yeah, like I didn't have to completely depend on it at that point.
No, exactly.
And like you said, it was a bit more easier to let go of that
Yeah.
project, and especially since the plan was similar to that. But at that time,
And I just want to stop you as well, because you've been in various incubations. So what was that, looking back now, what was that experience like compared to what it is now?
so
Because you are the incubation guru, really.
actually I've been to 3 incubations.
3 now, yeah,
centers
absolutely.
and,
So
it's been like a journey.
Yeah, yeah.
I when I talk to people, when I talk to startups, they ask me which is the best one. There's no best one. There's like how you want to use the incubators. Like these incubators are here for your opportunity. They're asking, come, utilize us, then grow off. But you have to choose the right one. You have to understand what you actually need and what you don't need. And for me, because we were in the initial stage of this thing, it was like a trial. We are trying out everything. So DIC, if I remember right, they did a lot of initiatives for mentoring, and that was amazing with DIC. That is one of the most biggest positives I would say about DIC. So I remember an instance when they bought the Astro Labs team from UAE. So they were the founders of, I think, Namshi. Yeah, Namshi. There's a website, Namshi in UAE.
Okay.
So they bought them, the founders, to give us 1 week of mentoring session with classes, training and camps. And it was absolutely first class, amazing. And that is something that is one of the key highlights I always remember from DIC. They brought in partners associated for mentorship programs, which are very good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, since DIC, my opinion, DIC, since it doesn't fund you, it's a bit difficult too, because obviously when you're getting into incubators and accelerators, funding is also a part of necessity for trying out new ideas. At that time it did. So now the scenario's changed. A lot of things have changed with the incubators. I'm not sure still if DIC gives funding, but I know their method of working has changed and has become better, like much better.
Yeah, because when you're one of the first ones to be incubated anyway, so they're trying to find their feet. So now things the landscape must have changed.
Exactly. But at that time too, they did mentor sessions were amazing.
So did that help you with your other business as well? You learned,
because we were in the similar sector. And it helped us understand this thing better. We did a lot of iterations based on all those sessions we had, and that was good.
So you with DIC's blessing as well, you said, look, this isn't working. We're gonna.
I think it was more than 6 months, because now I'm thinking about it. I think it was close to 1 year. Because it was. I remember it was like 2015, like till then. So it's more than 6.
So what's going through your mind at that time?
That time we were like, okay, so we learned a lot of things on this. So this is how the market is reacting to products. So that means we need to find a product which is absolute necessity, not something which is like a nice to have. And DIC did tell us this.
They told you.
We focus on something nice to have, need to have. But, we were young and we were like, no, we need to try it our own way.
Don't tell us. We know what we're doing.
So we needed to get that, learn the hard way, if you ask me. So, but then, again, we found something else. So that was like one of my favorite projects I ever did, and still one of my favorites. It's called Homemade Food Qatar.
So Homemade Food Qatar.
Yeah, so we used to call it HMFQ.
Interesting.
It had a Facebook page. Right? That's it. It had a Facebook page. It was a project we tried on the side, and it was an immense success.
Just give us the background to Homemade Food Qatar in regards to, were you cooking the food?
No. So
how did it work?
How it says, Homemade Food Qatar was a project we did where we connected people who go for work to get lunch from homemade chefs. So the chefs make the food at home, and then we deliver it to them during lunchtime. That's it. Simple as it is. Because
just as if your mum had made it, or if your partner had made it, he gave you a packed lunch or whatever.
Exactly. And one thing we learned is like, okay, we try to keep the investment minimal. And try the project, and we say we try it very fast. We do it very fast.
So you create the platform.
We used Facebook.
You used Facebook?
Yeah, because at that point, Facebook was the most used in Qatar. Instagram was growing, Snapchat was growing, Facebook was strong, like absolute dominance, I would say. So we said, okay, let's go to Facebook. Don't create a website. Don't create anything. Just create a logo.
Wow.
Like let's just create a logo. Even the logo, I think it was just a photo. I think we just put it there, like
So, and how did you get the word out there? How did you let people know that?
It's just again 3 of us.
Yeah.
We were the admins of the page.
Yeah.
We said, okay, the investment we are going to do here is like 20 Qatar riyals or like 100 Qatar riyals for Facebook ad, and push it in such a way that get homemade food delivered to your office for lunchtime. Okay, that's it. That's
Right.
that's the only thing we did.
But how did you find the people to actually make the food? How did you?
So that we went into the market. We put out like in the forums and everything. We looked for chefs who were good at cooking, and we also went into forums where they were talking about cooking classes. And then we found out like, okay, chefs in Qatar. Like we personally contacted them and said, are you interested to make money by doing what you like at home? Sitting there, nothing else. You just make food, and you don't have to make a lot of it. You will get the orders one day before. You can plan it. You can plan absolutely everything. Make it relaxed. Just give it to us. We'll come collect it. We'll deliver it. End of the month, you get the money.
So how did you advertise it on your Facebook? If they're making it, did they give you a menu that you showcased? Or?
So how we worked with the chefs? So we sat with the chefs. We asked them, what are you good at cooking? This is very important. You can make a lot of things at home, but
what's your best?
What's your best?
Yeah.
So they would say, this is my best dish. It's like, okay, let's start with that.
Okay.
So that is your menu, and tell me the menu for the week. So they will say, this dish in this way for these 2 days, this dish in this way. They change it a bit, but they give us a menu upfront. We create the poster for it, like a leaflet, and we post it on Facebook 1 day prior. Okay,
1 day prior.
1 day prior. So if it's tomorrow is what you're ordering for, you have to order it today. Today night the order closes at 10 p.m. After that you cannot order. Okay, so we kept it, and also we asked the chefs, what's your maximum limit? Like how many dishes can you make? Because they're making it from home. It has to be done they're not not running a kitchen. So they said, okay, this many dishes. So it was like first come first serve. If you order early, you get it. If you don't, you don't get it. And initially we just put that. We did not expect so many people to order. We were like, people are going to try it again. It's going to be kind of similar scenario where people are like, okay, do I need it? Do I need to test it? We were wrong. Absolutely wrong. But I was happy we were wrong. Because the first day itself, the orders filled out in less than an hour.
Wow.
It was finished. We had 3 chefs, and boom, all the 3 chefs it was finished. And what just happened?
And are they messaging you on Facebook?
Yeah,
so
Facebook,
literally.
So we set up a page. It's not just a page in Facebook. You can set up business page in Facebook as a shop. We set it up like that.
Right.
So it was like an official kind of messaging, and we 3 were handling the messagings. Okay, we didn't hire anyone. It's just let's handle it. So we communicated. We had a system of recording the orders. We 3 had a system okay, these many orders come in. So if I tick it off here, it's synced with our devices. We can see how many orders are there. So we could do it. We used tech there. We used the technology we knew there, and then we made it easier.
Okay.
Again, smart one.
Now it sounds great. It sounds like you've got a winning model there.
Yeah.
What issues started to arise?
So there were 2 issues. One was a very good issue. We were getting too many orders. That is a good thing.
Okay.
And we did this project again for 3 months. We had really good success. We had a huge community base join that Facebook. Actually, now I remember an incident where a wife from UAE ordered food for her husband in Qatar because he came for a project in Qatar for 1 week. And she came to know about our page, and she came to know about the food. She used to order for 1 week. He was in Qatar for a project. She used to order from UAE.
Wow.
And we used to deliver it to his husband here in Qatar.
Nice.
And obviously we did cash on delivery because there was no, at that point, we didn't want to go around the financial setting up. It was much more easier.
You wanted an easy sell.
Yeah, it was easier. And we opted the cash on delivery. It was really good. And we did partner with delivery people, and sometimes we did.
Okay, but the issue was too many orders, and what was the second one? You said 2.
Yeah, the second one was obviously legality came in. Eventually it would. We were expecting it. We tried to get the licenses, but it was not easy at that point. So you should understand, this is before Talabat was a thing in Qatar.
Yeah.
Way before that. So they were delivery companies at that time, like just delivery companies. They're trying to deliver things and stuff. We had partnered with some of them. We were doing it, and we were registered as a delivery company.
But you were like pre-Talabat. You were literally...
Yeah, but
you
for
could have been
homes.
Talabat.
But for homes.
No, I know.
Yeah,
But that could have just progressed and progressed.
So at that point, I did know a lot of other founders who were even thinking about the Talabat idea.
Oh, really?
Right? They were thinking about it.
Yeah.
I knew. I have discussed with a lot of people. They even told us, like, come on board with us on a team as you guys are experienced in this.
Yeah.
But Talabat was already huge, really huge in other markets. It was coming to
Oh,
Qatar.
so you knew.
We knew it was
You
coming
could
to
see
Qatar.
it was going to come.
It was obviously going to come in Qatar.
Yeah.
And when they came, they're not going to come in small.
No.
They're going to, like, hit the market.
Yeah.
And they did. They came into the market with full power, like full funding and everything. And and if you had invested in a startup which did something similar at that point, it would be very difficult for you. So that is also an important thing. Timing.
All right. That is great information. But what was the legal aspect that was
So the
getting
thing
in the
was,
way?
obviously they were making food at their homes. So the monitoring part of it. So when you're running a restaurant, obviously you have licenses. Obviously there are teams who come and inspect and things like
okay,
that.
and they can do
So,
that.
since we're part of DIC, we had some leverage to do this. We didn't do anything illegally. We did it in a legal way because we're like kind of in a sandbox. We're testing out a product.
Yeah,
So we did not take it for a long time.
Right.
We did it very fast, and we did have conversation with the teams who actually give the licenses, but there were some conditions which we could not meet, as in the chefs could not meet, and we should defeat the purpose of homemade food thing concept. And we did not get the license. That is a pure part.
And do you know if that's changed since?
It has changed, but not completely.
Right.
I think now you need to get a kitchen, and there are specific kind of foods depending on what kind of kitchen you have. You can
I'm in contact with a couple of food business people, and I hear that.
Yeah, so depending on what kind of kitchen you set up,
Right.
If it's like a very normal one, I think you can only make heated foods.
Yeah.
But even I can be wrong because now I'm not in that
now
field. I don't
part
know
of it.
about it much. So, but I know they do give licenses now, but not at that time.
But it's interesting that DIC gave you, as you said, you're in the sandbox. They gave you
They helped us try it out.
they helped try it out,
So that's
and
the
then it's literally okay. Now we've got to go.
Now
Okay, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Now let's see.
if you can go and make it like a proper structure stuff. But that did not work out, and because of that we had to stop it.
But I'm curious why there isn't like, all right, you got these incubation centers, and you've got the latest thinking about new businesses, etc., etc. Do you think it's, they're pushing the boundaries with regards to businesses and way of working and stuff like that? That it can be a shock to the ministries that we've been doing this for years and these are the rules, etc., etc. That there isn't like this flexibility where it's just like, okay, yeah, we can see it's working. Let's give you a license that gives you that, and then we can literally adopt new ways of thinking.
So I understand what you're saying, and that is cases in some markets outside.
Right.
If you look at the West, if you look at Europe and things like that, they have these kind of system and everything. In Qatar, that system is there, but it's only in certain sectors.
Right.
Like, for example, fintech.
So
they allow you a sandbox in fintechs, fintech hub, which is under Cubic and QDB. They do allow you to pitch your idea. If they like your idea, they get you into the sandbox and they let you try things.
Yeah.
And depending on how the results and things are, then they work with you to make it legal. So they do allow it,
okay,
but not for every sector. There are certain sectors they allow it. Certain sectors you have to follow how it is already. And I think it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to be the way you said, actually, because new ideas bring new pathways.
Absolutely.
So in that pathway, because maybe that pathway is not used any time before, you need to create a new license for it. Obviously.
Yeah.
And they have a general structure for all the licenses and things. It's very clear. You can find it on the website. And then there are fintech hubs where you can be in a sandbox and test out things. But I think it's still I would say it's in the development stage, that idea, that concept of allowing different kind of things. So I would what would be the example? Maybe Uber was an example in its early stage. Uber was an idea which came in, and the governments had to set rules according to that startup they needed, because they realized how important it is, and they realized it gives opportunity for a lot of people to make money, to get jobs, and they realized it's a good thing. So they set up legalities for it, So it has to happen in that way if the ecosystem has to grow, but that's something the higher team has to do. But they're doing it. Like I said to you, they do it in the fintech strategy. But it's in specific sectors.
So after the food, was it then
we took a break. We took a break.
Oh, you took a break?
Yeah, we took a
back
break.
to the family business?
Yeah, I was focused on the family business for a few years. And then I have my co-founder Zohaib. He's who works with me in the current project. He's based out of India. So we, even before that, I know him. He's part of family. So we thought, okay, let's do another project in India. I want to try something in India. So I said, not in Qatar, not right now. Just let's leave Qatar for that for some time. I went back with him. I planned a scenario with him in India. We started a tech company which builds software for other tech companies. Like, not tech companies, for other companies. So just a normal tech company which builds softwares for other companies. We started it. It's still running. It's a success. Like a good business. And I started it with him, and that is based out of India, and it is running there. Then eventually, we have discussions. Zohaib and me, we have random discussions about things happening, ideas happening, and okay.
I'm curious, when do these discussions happen? Is it over a meal? Is it with the family or
with the family?
Okay, so
meals, maybe we just on the phone. He's based in India. I'm based here. Sometimes mostly on the phone. But when I'm in India, we go for drives. We discuss it. There's no specific time or place. It's like we discuss it. And then I told, okay, Zohaib, I know there is a segment, there is a loophole, there's a void space in the football market, because I've seen it. And I explained to him, when I was the semi-professional player, I used to see amazing talented players, but they never went beyond that, because they did not have the opportunity.
So it was from the heart initially that you saw.
It was from what I saw, what I experienced. Because I've seen maybe 10 Neymars. They did not become Neymars because they did not have the opportunity to become. I'm serious. And I guess super talented players, super talented. I even see some of them in Qatar right now. Like, when I still play with my friends and my colleagues on a weekly basis. That's a kind of passion for me, as well as staying healthy. So when players join us for the game, I see super talented players, and I told Zohaib, this is there. These guys are missing it out because they don't have that opportunity, that connection. And it's not because the clubs are not doing something. Clubs have their own system of doing it. But we need to make it more efficient, more effective, so that it reaches a larger crowd. At the same time, the clubs feel that, okay, this is a better method of doing it. If I just tell them, we can help the players, they're not going to be interested. They have to be interested. It has to be efficient for them. It has to be cost effective for them.
Absolutely.
And it has to be a new technology which gives them more results. All right. So then we started working on this concept. We started discussing, went to the whiteboard. We started drawing on the structure, let's see how we can do it and things like that. And initially we registered the company in India. And then, by the by, during the Shabab Falcon time, that is the same time I was part of Cubic, because from DIC we had gone to Cubic. So I used to know the programs about Cubic, of allowing startups even in to establish incubations in them and then expand it out. But for this specific startup, I was not looking at Cubic or DIC. I needed something more specific, because this is sports tech. Okay, it's a whole different ball game, and it's a different category in itself, and you need specific support in that segment if you need to break out. Okay. So I said, we started working we set up the team in India, the development team. Obviously, because it was more cost effective, because setting up a good team in India would be much, much economically lesser expensive for us than setting up a team here.
Absolutely.
And at that point, I was not.
So you were self-funding it?
To
start off
initially. We were not focused on immediately starting in Qatar. We were setting up the team here. At that time, there was some friends of mine who were actually have their own businesses, who invest in minor projects. we have a network of them. We discuss we meet regularly. We have, we discuss things with everyone. We share it with them, ideas, like projects come in. We tell them, okay, this project is there. Are you interested? Keep that connection going.
Yeah.
Start off from school time.
Yeah.
So I pitched this idea to them.
Yeah.
So these were my friends. These are people I know. These are people I worked with. I pitched the idea to them, and a few of them were extremely interested. They co-invested with us to start this project in India. So they were early investors with us in this project. And then we established it in India. We started working on it. At that time,
and I just want to stop you. When they invest, are you giving a share of the business?
Yeah.
Okay.
They invest
share of whatever.
Stake in the company.
Yeah,
Share in the company. Percentage stake in the company.
Yeah.
And they invested not a huge amount. We raised a small amount.
Yeah.
And we established the company there and set things up. This is probably early 2021, that kind of time.
Yeah.
Like maybe the end of 2020, that kind of time. Idea stage, all right? Is still starting to work on it. Then I heard about a new program in QST. So QST has been something that is in my head for a very long time. I used to observe them. I used to read about them. QST is Qatar Sportech.
Yeah.
So this is a sports incubator backed by QDB and Startup Bootcamp. So the Startup Bootcamp was then the partners for QST. Right now it's changed. Right now it's Cubic. But at that time when I was going to apply for this, Startup Bootcamp was part of it. So they started a program where they started a local segment for it. So that's an international program. QST is an international program where any sports tech startup from globally can apply. And it's like super strong program. Getting selected to it itself is a very difficult process because they validate, the process is hard. So that was going on, and that application was going to open. So I was planning to apply for the international program anyways. But before that, they tried something new. They said they initiated a program called Entlak program. So Entlak is for local startups in Qatar to try to get into the incubator, but not for the international program, for a local program, which is a much more smaller program, but they give you basic training and idea of sport tech. Obviously, I applied. I'm like, dude, this is it. I told Zohaib, okay, get ready. I'm going to apply for this. Let's see.
So you apply for the Entlak program, which is the local program?
The local program.
Even though you've got a
business? No, by the time when I'm going to apply for the Entlak program, we decided, okay, we're going to set it up in Qatar. Because also the World Cup was going to happen.
Yes.
So like sports was the thing and everyone was concentrating on Qatar, and that was football itself. So everything was coming. So I said, maybe we are in the right place at the right time. We should set it up here and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let's try it. All right. So we set up applied for the Entlak program and we got accepted. All right. So then there was a training session. Accepted in the sense you got accepted to the program. Then there is demo day, which you prepare everything, then you pitch to the investors and thing. And that's when I met the whole QST team for the first time. They supported us on a very high level. QDB was involved. And since it was the first batch of the Entlak program, it's like a new thing for everyone. But the training was superb.
Yeah.
Amazing training.
So they're offering training. They're offering investment as well?
Not the Entlak program. Entlak program is for training.
Yeah.
Then to see, like, they will allow us to pitch on a demo day.
Yeah.
They will call in a lot of investors locally.
Okay.
And if investors are interested, they would invest.
And then is that coming out of the Entlak program to then what?
So yeah, that's what, so that is the next step.
Okay.
So we participated in this. We pitched in it, and we got selected for the demo day. We pitched in front of QDB, the investors and everything in the demo day, and a lot of investor interest was there. But at this that stage, we are not exactly looking to get a local investor, because we're more interested in to be associated with an incubator, an accelerator, because it also gives us a validation, which is very necessary in this market. So at that time, when the Entlak program finished, we finished the pitching. That day they told us, okay, guys, apply for the international program. There is an opportunity for Entlak startups who pitched, who can also be part of that if you get like the top marks. Like top marks in the sense like they will evaluate you.
Okay.
They have to see the idea is good and everything. So the one thing that was very beneficial in the Entlak program is they pushed us to make an MVP. So that was like game changing for us. we were in the process of making an MVP, but they made the process faster. Like
MVP stands
like
for
a minimum viable product, like the first version of it, which is like you can just use it, test the product.
Yeah.
Right? They pushed us to do it very fast, and that was a good thing. That was like one of the best things, and that made our pace much more faster. Then I applied for the international program for Startup Bootcamp in QST. I think close to 300 startups globally applied for it.
300.
Yeah, close to that. And then we got selected. Only 10 startups got selected.
Wow.
And there were only 2 local startups who got selected.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, and one was us and one was NavBuddy. Is a very good friend of mine, Safar.
Yeah.
We both got accepted to the international program. That was something else. The QST international program, I would recommend it for anyone.
Oh, really?
So that's like one of the things. I've been part of incubation centers, as you said.
Yeah.
For me, QST was the best. QST program was the best.
As a cherry on the cake.
Yes, amazing. I mean, the training. They, by the way, they invest. They invest too.
Oh, the international program, or
Yeah, international program will invest.
Okay.
If you meet the milestones.
Yeah.
During the program.
Yeah.
I think it was a 12-week program or 9-week. Yeah, I think it's 12-week. The program was intense. It was like fast-paced. They would make you work hard, but that was necessary. As absolutely necessary. And the mentors they brought in, the people they brought in to give us training, the international people they brought in, amazing.
Yeah.
Top class, top notch. QDB did amazing job with QST accelerator. It was like one of the best experiences for me as an accelerator, and for Zohaib, he was part of it too. Again, there was going to be a demo day, and you had to perform, you had to meet your milestones and everything, and then pitch for the demo day. We pitched, they liked it. QDB and Startup Bootcamp invested in us. They invested $150,000.
Wow.
That's what they invest for any startup.
Yeah.
Gets selected. And,
Oh, wow.
they validate and you meet the milestones.
Yeah.
So they invested that kind of amount. That's it. Our journey started there.
Wow.
So that was like the point for us.
Yeah, that's kind of giving you the validation.
Yeah.
That you're on the right track.
Exactly.
You're doing the right thing.
And not just validation, it was like a help for us. It was a push for us.
No.
Open like a lot of doors for us because they have amazing partners. Like a lot of partners.
Yeah.
Later, you go online, you search the best sport tech startups, incubators in the world. This comes in the top 5.
Well,
That's the kind of level it is. It's really good. And then at the same time, Cubic and other things, they were growing in a different manner. I think right now Cubic has changed their program very, I have some of the startups in Cubic right now, they said they have very good experience, very good mentoring sessions. But I was not part of Cubic for a very long time. I didn't, also I was in an early stage. I think I was a lean startup program batch 12 or something. So it was in a very early stage. Now it's much different. And now the program is like in a very different level. So then we started our journey, then we started working on it. And initially we were working on hardware, like I told you before. And then we realized we had to switch to video analytics.
Yep.
Then we switched to that. And right now we are here. And
superb. So we've done a full circle.
yeah, we've done a full circle. And
And we're running out of time.
yeah, every day.
No, Mohamed, this has been a fantastic conversation. And let's just seal it or finalize it because I feel that you are an entrepreneur and that you always are looking for the next thing. This is your baby at the moment. This is something that you're not going to let go of. And it is working so far. Do you see yourself going in other directions? Is there Mohamed Asif somewhere else that's
to be very frank with you, no. So
okay. So this is
so this project, once we got into the market, we actually understand, and when we went to the market, we also got a validation from the clients and the clubs we work with. This is a necessity. It's like not a nice to have. Okay. If you look at numbers, it takes 18 weeks, close to 18 weeks for a club to sign a player, identify a player, get his performance data, watch his matches, and then sign him onto the academy or whatever it is they're signing him on, like the club, youth academy or the youth team, whichever he's signing. This technology reduces it to 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's that effective. It's that effective.
And it saves a lot of money as well.
It saves a lot of money. It saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time for the player also, because you have to look at the player's perspective. He's doing it for a club, and then eventually if the club doesn't sign, then it's a problem. So this gives him opportunity with multiple clubs at the same time.
Right.
Like he
Yes.
can apply for different club trials
Yeah.
at the same time and then wait for the best offer. Like we are making it happen for him.
Super.
It's easy for him, but at the same time, it's super effective for the clubs. They're looking at initially when they're doing a physical trial, they're looking at, let's say, 500 people in a location, and they're calling them for physical trial, and they're like, okay, let's see you play. They're analyzing him in 40 minutes. Imagine if that kid had a bad day and he didn't perform, and he actually is a good player.
That's right.
He misses out that chance.
Yeah.
We are changing the game for them. Like,
No, I hear you. I hear you.
So
I hear. You are literally 100% in it.
Yeah.
So
this
what
one
you're
is like-
telling me is that you're not letting go of this
No.
for a long time.
Yeah, this is like a long focus.
Yeah.
And we have a very long vision with this project, because we have not just this, we have multiple things in plan to eventually bring into this ecosystem related to football scouting itself.
Yeah.
Different technologies we want to implement in the same product to grow it into,
Oh, so it might not just be football.
No.
It could be all sports.
It can go to all sports, but right now we are focused on
Okay,
football.
yeah,
But in football itself, we have different
Ah, okay,
segments we
right,
can
yeah.
add and make it more effective.
Super.
Many, like for example, national teams, not just football clubs, national teams scouting their own national players.
Yeah.
So these things are implementable, and we are working on it. And we have that in our long vision, like this is where we need to be and things like that. So this is a project we are completely focused on a long game. And we're doing it, and I hope it becomes super effective.
I hope so, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And I can see it. And I want you, if there's any milestones that come up,
Yeah,
please come in,
definitely.
keep us updated.
So
because
we
it'd be
are
great following.
going to release the new version of the product, which
Yeah.
is the new system of tracking from video analytics,
Yeah.
publicly by the end of next month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
that would be a big thing.
yeah, so now it's in closed beta trial with the clubs and
Okay.
the partners we have, but we are going to release it publicly by the end of next month.
Well, just let us know, and then we can put it out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Superb.
Super.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Very nice.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank
and
you
I wish
for
you all the
having me.
best.
Yeah.
And keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very good session.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed it.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you next week. Take care. Hey, amazing people. This concludes our journey on the Head Guide podcast, your ultimate fusion of Middle East vibes and success in both business and life. I'm Stefan Limbo-Jones, your ever-enthusiastic guide through all things awesome. The Head Guide podcast is your exclusive pass to CEO insights, cultural adventures, and the genuine lowdown on life in the Middle East. If you've enjoyed the ride, hit that subscribe button for the most fantastic ongoing adventure. Stay tuned for more awesomeness, more insights, and more success coming your way. Let's roll into the future of the Middle East journey together.